Belshire vested.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome as we get ready for this. In the bottom right-hand corner of Belshire Vestige, it is the blue Zerg Gamma Bear Sen.
Whee! No thunder sticks this time, but we are still just as excited as we were the other day.
That doesn't never mind. I'm not even going to go over it. Top left-hand corner, the evil genius Protoss. He is red and he is HuK.
And HuK.
He's hot.
He's red hot HuK.
Man.
HuK seems to be going for the gateway first. Andre here against Sen. This is such a classic matchup, man.
Yeah.
HuK and Sen are two players that are, of course, I would say massively successful throughout the entire Wings of Liberty period. So far in Heart of the Swarm, HuK has not been super successful yet, but he's definitely on the rise. Look at his results in the recent Red Bull Battlegrounds. That was just crazy, man. HuK 3-0ing Illusion, 3-0 State, losing against Snoot twice, but also able to defeat TLO 3-1, making himself the runner-up of the Red Bull Battlegrounds. That was the best HuK we've seen in a very, very long time.
You know, it's really interesting because I feel like everybody, I'll blatantly say it, craps on HuK so much.
I thought you were going to say everybody clap.
No, but everybody like just does not give HuK enough credit. This guy, you know, he gave up his life. He moved over to Korea. He's been training so hard, and he has a pretty good, I mean, for a foreigner, he has a pretty good win rate against Koreans. He continuously is on top of, I guess, the foreigner list in terms of quality of play. But people just don't give it to him. People just don't say, yes, he is the premier player. And I kind of feel like that has something to do with his style. I really do. People classify it as a little bit cheesy, a little bit aggressive, but then you look at players like Jim, and I almost feel like HuK is the same style as Jim.
To some degree, yes, Andre, and I of course completely agree with you. I think HuK deserves more credit than what's been given to him. We can talk about it, we can speculate why that is, but for now, I'd say let's just focus on this game, because what I do know is that we are both quite HuK fans. I always enjoy casting HuK. I think he's awesome. Andre, 3 minutes and 15 seconds up to the point where Sen decides to go 3-base. If Sen is able to survive and go through the early phase of this game without taking any initial damage, well, we do see HuK chrono boosting out this Stalker. If he follows this up with another Stalker, this Overlord is DEAD in the water. It's going to delay that second Stalker for a bit, because actually there is no safe spot here between both bases if there are two Stalkers up.
Yeah, we'll see if he
HuK's
actually...
gonna find this Overlord though, and this is one that he can get for sure without too much hassle, I guess.
It's a more important Overlord, I would say,
no,
too.
I guess he's safe over here.
The reason why I say this is the more important Overlord is because you already know, as a Protoss, exactly where the first Overlord is coming from. You have a direct spot, so you can kind of position your Overlords accordingly. That Overlord, just because it's weak, it means it doesn't have the ability to push into the Protoss base at, you know, that 6-7 minute mark where you really need to establish what tech your opponent is going. So I actually think that's pretty big.
I'm a little bit worried for HuK already though, because he's going Gateway first, which is less economic than a Forge Fast Expand. These two links are going to be able to run into the main base. There will be a Sentry and a Mothership Core, but above all, this is not a very economic opening for him. He needs to follow this up with some serious pressure, and we do see actually that Warp Gate technology is already 75 to 80% done. This is really important because HuK is going to have to slow Sen down. If he would not do anything against this super quick 3 build from Sen, Sen is just going to go so far ahead in the worker count up to a certain point in the game where it's going to be absolutely insane. HuK is going to be able to pick up this Overlord, and we can already see Pylon going up as well. HuK needs to deal damage with this little push.
You know, this is actually pretty perfect, I would say. I mean, he's doing 3-gate pressure. He has the recall capabilities.
I'm a little bit worried though, because he doesn't have too much DPS right now. I think he might end up losing the Sentry. He's going to have to drop a force field.
He needs
fine. Oh no, don't attack your gateway, HuK.
He needs probes to be pulled. Oh, he has a second sentry. Okay, easy peasy. No worries, guys.
He's going back with these units while he does have this pylon already. We can see this is buying more and more time for Sen. More and more links are on the way. We have 33 drones right now. Sen is going back to droning. This could be a small mistake if HuK decides to commit to his gateway pressure.
Keep in mind, metabolic boost has been almost completed now. That's a big problem. Sen was super greedy with this. 3 hatch and then a gas. That is incredibly greedy, and then he gets the spawning pull. That way he can get metabolic boost out as fast as possible. If this was just a straight up 4-gate, a big problem would be had here. But I feel like he's doing a good job defending his pylon over here, and he will be able to amass quite a sizable army
We're gonna have a lot of Zealots right now from HuK on this side of the map. There are not too many links out. These Zealots do not have +1, so they are not as scary as they normally are. But it's still pretty damn scary. It's 6-7 Zealots right now and a Mothership Core. Sen is gonna have to pull drones in a certain moment, and he's gonna have to dance back and forth. He has a lot of links on the way. It should be enough. If Sen survives this phase of the game without taking too much damage, he's going to be in a fantastic position.
Oh man, but 2 queens are already gonna drop. HuK is targeting the right units at this point and just making it so uncomfortable, because remember, if you keep that mothership alive, you empower your army so much with that recall.
It's gonna be really close, but he will be able to pick up this queen as well. That means no NTR for a little while over here. And sure, these links, they are cleaning up the gateway units, but not before losing 3 queens and losing a couple of drones, or actually more than just a couple of drones. Take a look, HuK already killed 10 drones. This is what HuK needed, and HuK has done it. Beautiful play by HuK.
Oh, look at this. And he's actually trading out Zealots for Zerglings. Such an intelligent position right now, because it really empowers. Think, if you have less Zerglings to deal with, you want to drone up. All of a sudden, those 2 sentries in the back can actually defend against all of these Zerglings, whereas before, he would have had to get more gateway units. And remember, HuK is tech switching over to not only Stargate tech, but also Twilight Council tech.
Yeah, I'm kind of curious to see how quick he did that up on each other. So I'm starting to feel perhaps the 2-base timing on the Ray, because getting Twilight and Stargate now already, taking a look at the work count of HuK, he's on 46. That's a really healthy amount to go 2 bases, but he's still producing probes, so perhaps I'm wrong. Interesting follow-up here by HuK. I really like the damage he did. That was great, picking up 3 queens, all those drones, but he didn't kill the hatchery, and that does worry me a little bit.
Yeah, because, well, I say this a lot. You know, each hatchery, if you perfectly inject it, on average, it's 9.3 larvae per minute. And a Dark Shrine, what?
What a bizarre follow-up here.
Normally, we're expecting Blink Stalkers, right? Like, that's the #1 thing you're thinking.
Because he's already forcing out Spore Crawlers with these Phoenixes.
Exactly, like, it's so redundant. Maybe he's going for a Zealot Archon? But
yeah, I mean, it's something that still can work, because often there's only 1 Spore per base, and then suddenly if you're able to surprise your opponent, you you can kill that Spore. Then your Phoenixes are able to pick off perhaps an Overseer, so it can definitely work, but I'm very curious to see how HuK is going to try to make this work, because it's a really big investment.
Yeah, it's probably going to be like multi-pronged aggression. Definitely a lot of Dark Templars darting into the main base, I'm thinking, just as a tactical ploy, because you can't actually see those Dark Templars on the minimap. And then directly after that, he's pressuring the 3rd base, but he is warping in all the way on the right-hand side. This is a very interesting build, and we haven't seen really, you know, an unconventional style coming out from Sen. He's going up to Hydras. This is going to counter the Phoenixes pretty well.
And potentially the Archons as well.
Yeah, and the Archons and the Zealots, of course. Zealots get shredded to Hydras. So actually, every gateway unit gets shredded to Hydras, unless you have really, really good force field. So this is really interesting to me.
I agree, Andre. This Hydra transition might actually be a bigger problem than the fact that, yes, there are a couple of spores here and there, but these could still be useful. But other than that, these Hydras are good against every single unit that HuK is able to make right now. Sure, if you have an overwhelming amount of charge slots, you might be able to catch these Hydras off guard. But Sen's economy is starting to be pretty damn good. He might be able to get a Phoenix over here. Yes, he will. I'm not quite worried. I don't think that HuK is very happy with seeing that amount of Hydralisk already.
Definitely not. He is getting charged. He warped in 4 Dark Templars and merged them immediately into Archons. So he's obviously telling me that he's doing a 2-base all-in. And with, you know, with Time Warp, he can definitely be good. I think HuK was waiting for that 4th base to go up, but now he's taking a 3rd base. I think he realizes, hey, a lot of my all-ins have just been removed off the field because of those Hydralisks. If he's still on creep, it's going to be a disaster for me to really push. So let me try to focus more economically, get my 3rd base delayed.
No, I want to say unless it's a fake, but definitely not with 2 photon overcharges over here, or 2 photon cannons. This is a 13-minute 3rd base though. That's pretty damn late. Yes, HuK did a fantastic amount of damage early on, but if you don't follow it up, then, you know, within a minute the Zerg is able to reproduce those drones, reproduce the queens, and Zerg is still up 1 base. And I'm afraid that the damage that you did a little bit earlier is just going to be sort of completely neglected in this phase of the game, because it doesn't really matter anymore.
And look at that, roaches.
17 of them, Andre.
I hate to say, like, I play this style a lot. I do a non-Colossus style. Sometimes I get Immortal, sometimes I don't, but I try to rely on charge slots because they're just so lean in minerals and you can use your gas anywhere else. And I have to say, roaches are the direct counter. That sounds crazy, right? Well, roaches are the direct counter to everything, but they're definitely the direct counter to this style in particular, because those roaches soak up so much damage, and on top of that, they cost so little.
And they deal quite a bit of damage as well. A couple of Phoenixes trying to fly in over here, pick up this queen over here at the 4th base. I'm kind of worried about the position that HuK is in right now. He doesn't have anything that's very good against Roach Hydra. That's just the way it is. He doesn't have Storm. He doesn't have Colossus. Void Rays, you know, could be good in some degree if you're able to protect them and just kill the Phoenixes. That doesn't work either. He does have 3 Dark Templars right now sneaking into the main base, and this actually might be the start of a great attack for HuK.
Yes,
At the same time, we can see he's moving his main army, but he's actually running into the main force of Sen, but these Dark Templars should be able to deal a crazy amount of damage.
I love that time warp right now. Now the main base is under ridiculous attack. Nice force fields. Gonna trap those roaches in. Those Archons do an incredible amount of damage, but Sen not committing to any place. He's probably, no, he's not even walking back here.
What? There's so many drones already. HuK went from 13 to 32 by now. Killed over 20 workers.
That is incredible, and of course, everything will be cleaned up momentarily. Was that enough, though? You know what? Even though that did a lot of damage,
HuK, HuK.
I'm gonna say that it wasn't enough.
I kind of like this. This definitely slows down Sen a lot. I don't think Sen is able to take a bad fight right now. So I don't think Sen wants to take a fight. I don't think HuK has to fight.
No, he absolutely shouldn't. And I think he's just sharking around right now. He wants to make it known that you shouldn't be doing anything risky, but the Vipers are going to really punish you so hard. Killing those Archons just give you the ability to keep pushing forward the Dark Templar back into the main base. But we're going to see Sen just march across the map and potentially just kill that third base. That's a huge problem.
I am not sure if Sen is in that position. He's on 104 supply right now. This last fight was a little bit sloppy by HuK because he didn't need to fight in that moment. But we have the Robos on the way. The first Immortal is on the way. 4 additional Archons. On a certain point, I'm afraid it might get a little too much because Archons, they kind of block each other.
Yeah.
I don't really see 7 Archons being able to fight against all these Hydras, but I still really like the way that HuK set it up. He was able to pick off so many units over here. Those Dark Templars did a crazy amount of damage, but I would really love to see 1 or 2 Colossus, despite the Vipers. Yeah, the Vipers are scary, but Sen is not that rich.
Yeah, and here we go. The engagement's going to start here. Everything gets cleaned up. I mean, you want your Zealots to be tanking everything. Now the Archons are the ones that will really be gunned down here. Sentries will be taken out as well with the Guardian Shield, which is so helpful, but not anymore. And then Mortal comes in a little bit late to the party. I have to agree with you. I feel like the Mortal and the Archon are a little bit redundant in this army against Roach Hydra.
Well, Sen doesn't have a massive economy. What he does have is a massive army. Look at this, 105 army supply. I'm sure that HuK doesn't feel that he's facing that much of an army deficit right now, but that is the truth. Sen is close to being maxed out. And he's going to be able to pick up a Phoenix over here for free as well. There is 1 Overseer over here. This is a really expensive loss right now for HuK.
That was, I believe, 6 Dark Templars, and there it is. GG, HuK will tap out of first game.
Man, I really love parts of